Hello. Getting set up here. Just sort of be a spontaneous open discussion. I might have to take a few breaks. Sort of looking after a couple situations at the same time. Netherlands. Figured I would we're in the city. I don't know how much DXing we're going to be, but I thought we would just crack open a Pepsi here. These are a rare treat for me, as much as I love them. You know, they're not good for you, so figured we would crack one of these open and toast the new year, right? Is that what that's about? Starting off great. Yeah, real sugar, no diet here. Don't allow diet in the house. If you're going to go for a soda, go for the real deal. It's like drinking non-alcoholic beer. So what's going on in YouTube land? Sorry, the lighting's a little bit twacked here. Michigan, those M states right now are getting all the traffic. Anyway, not real motivated on real sugar, no high fructose corn syrup. Not real motivated on the radio stuff right now after the WNAM shutdown. I sort of lost a little bit of passion for radio and DXing. Just to be completely honest, I think it's sort of doomed. You know, go out and start a radio repair channel. That would be a great investment in your time right now. Anyway, working on a lot of TV videos and did a plumbing video today for Mr. Ryan, and I did a auto repair video, kind of just tied them together on a friend's truck. And yeah, I don't think AM is doomed quite yet, but apparently it peaked around 1990, and it's been on sort of a slow roll decline. And I think that nobody really listens to it anymore. I mean, it's, a few of the stations, but we just have new technology now. So that's good to hear. It's strong in Australia. I think in some of the Arab countries it's still pretty prolific too. We get our propaganda through digital form now. We don't No Seaberg jukebox. Stand by one. No jukeboxes. I'll leave that to the jukebox people. We're doing TVs and radios here. Anyway, I guess we can sort of see what's on shortwave. I don't know what we're listening to here.
That's first, as we know.
As far as coming up, got a video on a console TV. In the editing process, I got the stereo multiplex decoder repair video is done. I just got to edit it on the Harman Kardon custom made deal. And like I mentioned, I did a plumbing repair video and a auto repair video. Standby one. It's just there is no plastic lens. It's missing. It's just what everybody came here for, right? To learn static. Listen to static. Let's listen to static together. I'm not doing much in the way of auto repair videos right now. I just don't have time. You know, it's a busy life. Let's see if we're getting the one out of Florida tonight. Doesn't look like we're getting... We got a crappy switch here. That's probably it right there. Stand by 1 second. Sorry about that.
I talked to the first part of and the concept of starting over in new chances. I make very clear, you got another chance, but he's still going to be the boss. He's still going to work his purpose. He's still going to use the wheel to shape you. For all this backslidden person heard, as they twisted that message, was that that person would get another chance on his wayward path. You understand?
Oh, John is in the house. A big shout out to John. Big shout out to John in Florida. Or should I say assalamu alaikum there, John?
And white is black. And I've been in the ministry long enough, stayed in one place preaching long enough to see enough.
The question for you, John, is how many hours a day are you not thinking about me? There we are.
Fulfill what the scripture says. The same word brings life to some and death to others. The issue's still always the same. Whether or not self submits to the reality that the chosen of God are going to be shaped according to his plan. God's not going to be your servant to bless you, shaping your life according to your plan. That's the one message I've been preaching for 18 years. People tend to remember the messages I preach, but the minute they start to backslide, they'll.
This is shortwave. Yeah, Radio TV Phono Nut. He made mention in today's video. He talked about, I guess, a local station is shutting down. Standby one. Anyway, Radio TV Phono Nut released a video today, and he talked about, I guess, a local station was turning in their license due to lack of funding, or who's buying commercial space on AM radio anymore? I mean, I don't know. Maybe I'm being pessimistic here about it.
Didn't believe that free will existed. You were either under the grip of the world, the flesh, and the devil, in compound where the three represents more than the sum of the three, or you were being rescued and under the control of the Holy Spirit.
Just as long as we're clear on that.
When I first read from that message of Martin Luther, I said, that's where I differ with Martin Luther. I'm more Newberry. Lionel Eber's view.
Yeah, I'm being pessimistic. I sort of... I should have got the 7,000 out tonight, but this was just spontaneous. I'm trying to figure this out, the comments. Top chat, live chat, all messages are visible. Come on, there we go. $93.30. 93.30. Let's see. Wow, that's way off. If that's 10 megahertz, stand by. I do have this. I do have the 7,000. This is the 1,000. The 2,000 died. I actually pulled the 2,000. I'm sorry. The transoceanics are the 1,000, 3,000, and 7,000. The 3,000 has FM. It's the same as this. It died on the last trip. I actually pulled it out and it was still dead. So I grabbed this one. I did not pull the 7,000 out. I got that one locked up tight. That's one of my prizes right there. Yeah, that's I am in LA. I have several 2000s. The 2000 is the AM FM symphonic or whatever they call it. Yeah, we're gonna. Yes, there is still content on YouTube that is not about shrieking, screaming, freezing people.
Poder y vendrán una serie de temas que se vienen a nivel personal, pero que tienen repercusiones no solo a nivel.
What happened to the real tone globe pacer? That was a disappointment of a radio. This is a Royal 1000, yes. Zenith Royal 1000. With an annoying shadow. Portugal.
Con la muerte.
I think the cold affects the brain. I don't know. There's been some interesting videos coming out of Russia of this massive snow and ice storm. And it's getting hard to tell what's AI and what's real now. And it's starting to get very confusing. The cold also affects the genitals too. Yes, it does. But that's assuming that those people that are making all that noise in the cold have genitals. Stand by. Hold on. Speaking of Russia, do you have any source for decent Soviet parts? Okay, so Russia was a great source of vacuum tubes and germanium transistors. And I say this all the time. They made germanium transistors up into the 90s, and they seem very reliable. But we got blocked from that source. So now you only have the other, what were Soviet countries. I mean, there's still a lot of sellers on eBay out of Ukraine. And everybody seems to have pretty good luck getting parts out of Ukraine. So hopefully maybe that door will open back up again at some point. That would be welcome. I would have no problem buying vintage electronics from Russia at all. I'm a fan. Silicon transistors work too for germanium. Yeah, but they don't have as much noise. They aren't as noisy. I don't know. There's something elegant about keeping something vintage. I'm on 14 to 15.8. Greetings from Ground Zero. What is Ground Zero right now? Is that Minneapolis, or is that Russia, or is that Iran, or is that Ukraine, or is that Venezuela? We got so many ground zeros going right now that you got to be more specific. Stand by 1 second. We'll let you listen to this. I got to go check something.
但是它不利于保存，它久了很快就烂了，很快就坏了，是吧？在我们市场买的，它的保存呢，其实还是红枣啊。我们说为什么要用大红枣，就这个原因。大红枣它肉厚，它保持的营养成分是比较多的。小枣呢，鲜的时候很好，它干了以后呢，味就很少了。所以在药用的时候，我们更多的是用那些大枣。
现在我们也可以看到啊，超市里各种的枣的制成品、小零食非常的多。那么对这些枣，鲜枣经过加工之后，它的保水。
All right, back to where was I?
是不是补血的效果降低倒也不一定，加了几点成分呢？它更考虑的不是完全是补血，或者是加入了一些甜味、滋阴来更多的一些人。刚才大家多的干枣可以在上面。
What were we talking about?
3个左右，重要是之后既容易消化，又保留了它的营养。
Oh, Greenland. Yeah, I forgot that one. Like I said, there's so many ground zeros going on right now that it's which one? You got to specify where you're EOLing right now. Hello from China. Really? I thought YouTube was blocked in China.
And the day you're blessed if you can go get that. Unless
Reading the comments. I think the whole Leering Center thing is, if it's not played out yet, I think it should have run its course. We need to find the new thing. We need the new. I did order the Soviet version of the 3V4, which is a audio output tube for battery powered tube radios. Why? I don't know. I just thought it would be cute. Question about your video on the Selga 404. You mentioned the top end of the band disappeared. What caused that? I got one that goes quiet above 560 kilohertz. Still new to radio repair. Those problems where the oscillator stops can be tricky to figure out. The Selga 404, I'm trying to remember what that is. That a germanium radio? Because a lot of times it's going to be a bad transistor. The transistor just is something's wrong with it and it won't oscillate fast enough, so it stalls out. Or it could be a mismatch in some of the tuning capacitors. I will have to revisit that video and get back to you on that. Those problems can be hard to sort out. But if I don't address it, maybe shoot me an email and I'll try and review that video and see what I found on that. It was probably one of the trimmer capacitors was bad. Those don't have trimmer capacitors inside the main tuning cap. They're separate. Oh yeah, transportation contractors. Yes. Yeah, it'll be like an abandoned building that's like milking millions of dollars for ambulance transportation, and we have those here. I'm trying to think of what they're called, Dial 1 or something like that. They have the little Chrysler Pacific minivans and they take old people to the doctor and stuff. And I believe it's run by the city here.
Your responsibility to bring people into the church, it's not mine. I keep telling you, there's only so much I can do. One person can only do so much, and it does take a village, right? The expression is it takes the body. So that's why I say we're all called to protect and preserve and stand for what the church represents. So I've never stood here and told you about if you give, expect to receive. I've told you the minute you start giving, most people encounter this, and it's kind of a spiritual rule. People who have never given before or not given on a regular basis and start to give, watch out. You're going to be in for a real bumpy ride. And I've told you, I can't repeat this enough. The messages that come in, the people that just start giving, and then what happens? I lost my job, my house flooded, there's a million things.
What is the thought process of when you can just parallel a cap or resistor, knowing the bad in place? No, I think that should be leaving the bad in place component won't interfere. That's questionable if it's the only option, but usually you want to always get the bad component out of the circuit, even if you just cut one end of it off and let it dangle there. Because what if it decides to wake back up? Or what if it's generating noise? Yeah, ideally, they used to say that with selenium rectifiers, just parallel a silicon with it and it'll never be a problem. That was in all the trade magazines. But in that case, probably so, because they only go up in resistance. They don't really short. But yeah, if you can get the old component out. I have a problem with a late 60s rhythm machine where a noise is missing. I don't know. I don't work on rhythm machines.
There's room for you to grow in your understanding of what your responsibilities are. And that is like the beginning of understanding. So, for all those people out there that have written a message, posted on social media,
I'm not far from that station in Boise Shango picked up that runs 23 watts on nighttime. I had to double take when he said the call and cool oldies. Okay, so that was about a year ago when we had the huge fires out here. They knocked out the power for that whole area, and 1260 is, I think it was in classic country at that time, whatever his mood was. And it took our 1260 off the air, which is Mozart now. And so I came out here and I DX'd it, and I was getting a 23 watt station out of Boise, Idaho. Is that possible? Absolutely. Absolutely.
Fortunately, the people who are yet to learn this only will focus on the giving of money. But it actually expands to much more than that. When you really recognize that, that's why we are told, Romans 12, present yourself a living sacrifice. It doesn't say present yourself and put everything else over there. It says yourself encompasses everything that you are. Period.
This is more of what I thought this would be tonight, is just sort of an open discussion. Since I'm so good at replying to people's comments, I figured I would try and do this.
I do subject myself to see what other people are saying or doing out there. I have for almost 3 decades. Unfortunately, most of it is give to get. Most of it is tapping into people's greed and rob them.
I'm here to tap into people's greed and rob them.
Their eternal reward if they're actually doing it for the right reasons. But usually
Do I get Portuguese stations? I don't know.
that's what you ought to do. And if you
I'm a
do it,
dumb
that's
American. I wouldn't know
no,
Portuguese
it
from
doesn't work like
Mexican.
that. Obedience starts by following what's there. And God looks on the heart, and only God can see the heart. Then can
Is it worth using new old stock tantalum capacitors?
It's like that. So when people
I don't know.
talk about,
They like to short and explode.
finance problem, you have to get to a spiritual root. And that has actually been an ongoing battle here for longer than I care to share, way beyond my time and 10 years pastor. So I'm not saying anything new, but I am actually speaking to the folks who are newer.
Do I have any building exploration videos planned? Like urbex stuff? You know, that property values are too high for that now. There's just like nothing abandoned to explore. And if it is abandoned and it doesn't have security, it becomes a homeless hangout. So yeah, the whole like urbex exploring abandoned buildings thing has kind of like been ruined.
Intrinsic to your Christian faith.
I don't do much with tape. Question is, do you do tape dubbing decks or reel to reel? No. I'm pretty boring. I try and stay to TVs and radios.
And for all those people out there that listen, that do not give, I'm just going to tell you.
How do I feel about Greenland? You know, I don't really know enough about it. I think I sort of understand strategically why it's, yeah, I think geographically I get why it's probably, but I'm staying out of that. It's too much.
Before Dr. Spratt passed away, where he was pleading with people to make commitments and to be committed, and people wouldn't do it. For whatever their reason, they wouldn't do it. And one of the greatest heartbreaks to me was his homegoing. To be in that building and have
Yes, I'm at home.
I'm going to say about maybe 80% filled, including the balcony. Was
Portuguese from Brazil on 11/7/80. Off now, though. Okay. Yeah, Westminster Mall. Man, did that place sure blow up.
regularly to encourage him.
For some reason, I sort of think indoor shopping malls and AM radio are bedfellows.
It's a disease.
I think they're both going the same direction.
Until that person, which is
Do you know if those cheap SDR radios can decode CQAM? No, they can't.
I should have done this. I should have done that. And I'm just telling you, God gives each and every one of us multiple opportunities to participate, to be present, to learn.
You're a member of... No, I'm not a member of any exploring group. I really just do my own thing.
Ministry does indeed rest in your hands. I can't go out and try and convince the world. I'm standing here preaching. This message will be rebroadcast and republished in as many places as possible. But I'm only one person.
1989 Zenith System 3 and tune it up. What, recap it? Recap a TV from the 80s and 90s? That's like in borderline insanity. If you got bad capacitors in a certain area, test them and replace them. You don't want to...
Every excuse under the sun
You don't need to do that.
They are called and came to the kingdom for. So, for that, I cannot be responsible, but I do want those people out there to know that your non-activity has a bearing on this work that will be not just noted in time.
Yeah, we could do the mercury vapor light.
You don't have to take my word. I'm convinced of what I read here.
There we go.
That everything that we do.
Low CRI mercury vapor light. Does everybody like that? Does that show up okay?
I can't. I don't have it in me. I wish I did to manipulate people and to tell them, well,
She doesn't have it in her to manipulate people. I wish she did.
That people don't want to hear. So if you want the truth, I'm going to speak it. I just said it. And that is for each person to digest. And you can say, well, I'm excluded.
Any more new kitties? No, no more new kitties. I'm trying to avoid toxoplasmosis.
All right. On that note, because I'm sure now everybody's heard what I have to say for the millionth time on the subject.
Are there any CQAM stations, AM stereo, outside of WION on the air? Well, there was KYET out in the desert. I was gonna message the engineer and see if it was still going. I like that station.
Or Westcott Christian Center, or Faith Center Ministries. You are paying the teacher. This is according to Galatians 6. You are to koinonia with the one, jointly participate with the one who is teaching you. So everything coming out of this ministry.
I picked up a 78 RPM phonograph. Turns out to be a wire recorder phonograph. Do you have any experience with those? No, I have one. I was saving it. It's got several wire reels in it, and it'd be interesting to fire it up and listen to those. But I don't think it's anything complicated. It's just amplifiers and stuff like that. But it's kind of already been done. Someone else did it with very popular videos. Are Americans mostly pedo? They do protect Trump. I don't know. It's a bizarre question. I tried to fix a KCS-47, which is that's an early RCA, black and white. And boy, those are complicated, man. You started with something real easy. And you did a full recap and the horizontal lock doesn't work. Well, of course. That's everybody. The internet tells you a full recap will fix anything, but it's never that way. This is when you need to get in there with a scope and start looking at your sync pulse and learn how that stuff works and troubleshoot. It's probably an open coil somewhere. Seems like on this older stuff, I'm running into more and more open coils and inductors. But yeah, you're brave to take on a KCS-47. I have a bunch of those. I'm reluctant to resurrect them because they're so freaking complicated. Green, mercury vapor light, 15 CRI. Not doing the car repair channel right now. I did a troubleshooting, electrical troubleshooting video on a truck today. I'll post it on this channel. I'm not paying attention to the radio. I'm paying attention to the comments. I did a video on KYET. It's an automated station. It's in a box. It's in a like a shipping container. It's very cool. I really dig it. It's such a neat thing.
Produtos ilegales a partir de Paraguay sume como 100 billones de reales. Estos son como 20 billones de dólares. Wow, increíble.
Replace it with LED. I don't like it as much. There's something elegant, romantic, nostalgic about mercury vapor lights. And Westinghouse, what are they called? Lifeguard, 175 watt Westinghouse Lifeguard bulb from the 60s. Some of them, if they weren't removed, would still be working perfect today. The frickin' things last forever. Hundreds and hundreds of thousands of hours. There is no LED out there that will even come close to lasting as long as the mercury vapor lamp will. It just won't touch it. Yeah, last week's video was a Philco Predicta holiday. That set actually belongs to the gentleman who edited the video on the theater, the old movie theater. And it was a pleasure to fix that for him, get that going for him. And it's nice to see something edited by a true professional, which he is. He's big time. Don't do jukeboxes. Yeah, you know, if you get an old set and you restore it and you don't get the, I'm replying, I guess this is again on the KCS 47. My advice would be, if you get an old set like that and you restore it or whatever, and the CRT is good, and you don't get the desired result, if there's something that you get stuck on that you can't figure out, like vertical deflection, horizontal deflection, whatever, don't get frustrated with it and end up destroying it. Just put it to the side and wait until your knowledge grows on the subject, and then come back to it at a later time.
We better fear lest we wait one day too long.
YouTube could use another car repair channel. No, you know what YouTube needs? YouTube needs more more garage shops with a plywood bench doing All American 5 restorations. That's what YouTube needs. More All American 5 tube radio channels. That's what it really needs. And we just go in and change the capacitors and then maybe tweak the alignment a little bit and it works. So we put it off to the side and bring the next one in. That's what YouTube needs. People ask me to fix their guitar amps, but I know myself the voltages are too high. Huh. I have no fear of electricity. These gloves I wear are very thick and they'll easily do over 1,000 volts. And I just know what to touch and what not to touch. I'm just doing this for so many years that I know it probably looks careless what I'm doing, but it just comes from experience. It's like I change so many freaking hybrid batteries now that I don't use any safety gear. You know, I look at a hybrid battery. Ooh, 275 volts DC. You know, when I'm working on televisions with 25,000 volts in them. Do you miss Fry's Electronics since the store closed? No, I never went much to Fry's Electronics. I got a local store, and I got DigiKey, and DigiKey dominates. It's not about a channel doing well. It's about the way YouTube works, and YouTube already has its auto repair channels picked. See if KTNN is coming in tonight.
They finally started getting it going. Los mayores y emocionada de dar nuestra perspectiva. Muy bien, muchas gracias. Y bueno, pues también tenemos a una invitada especial. Todos los días para ayudar y atender. And it makes my daughter like that. Well, kind of, you know.
Stand by one second. We'll listen to this.
They co-sign her, and you're messing it up because now she's mad because it feels like we're picking on her.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's a different perspective that I never thought about.
She has turned into Flavor Flav. She's the biggest hype man in the world. Yeah, boy. Everything I say, the Grace, pick your shoes up. Yeah, boy.
I love Flavor Flav. He's hilarious.
Afternoons with DeMarco and Travis, starting at 3 p.m. on 710 ESPN, the all-new ESPN LA app, and live on YouTube.
This is one of the better performing AM stations in LA. Okay, back to this.
2 years in a row. 5 full yard. Got the 49ers in a bad or 2 hours
Because the season's been that long. Start over. Thank God.
The current.
이하가 계속 실패하고.
That we continue to summon and call what Charlie was doing. We need to continue to do that so that.
De acuerdo.
Yeah, Bob Anderson is doing a restore of a pre-war set right now. Yeah, he's got his work cut out for him on that. I went to a CBS Engineers estate sale, and I think there were a few of those there. Hold on.
If you come, I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's silly. Yeah, but it's instructive, I think. So, seriously. So you.
두 분 연기.
Money. Income, which
The office implying.
los puntos I blockers.
YouTube needs less commercials. Everything needs less commercials. But unfortunately, that's how these things fund themselves. So you can't argue with that. It's bandwidth is not free. Bandwidth and data storage are not free.
O abandonados en la
Modern parades and specifically.
Oh, and if you're active or former military.
Chasing him, he got all the way.
Okay, I'm gonna just skip past all of these here. Okay, I caught up.
Que cosas pasan en nuestra vida y entonces a pesar de esta situación, fíjate la actitud de Pablo me llamó mucho la atención. A pesar de esta
Compass. It became the parade that we know today.
Well, I'm just using the stock antenna and the radio. I like to leave the radios just stock.
influye en la salud mental de los adultos.
And I also think that this is why Netflix and all these streaming services are starting to have ads more prevalent on them, right?
KBLA. You know, I really wonder how many people are listening to this right now.
Tiered system, so that if you have the lowest tier, you still get ads, but then if you get the higher tiers, you won't. I think
Oh, well, they're talking about what we're talking about. Let's listen.
We have to be able to justify. We have to be able to justify this money somehow, right? We have to wash this money somehow. It sounds like money laundering. It low-key is. It's okay. It will be okay. Okay, listen. We have a lot more to talk about on Donuts, Coffee, and Tech when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
Disagree without disrespect. Make your point and keep it pushing. Let's do this. Listen and learn, or talk and teach. Talking and listening around the clock. KBLA Talk 1580.
You know that big bargain detergent jug is 80% water, right? It doesn't clean as well.
80% water? I thought I was getting a better deal because it's so big.
If you want a better clean, Tide Pods are only 12% water. The rest is pure, concentrated cleaning ingredients.
Oh, let me make an announcement. Attention shoppers, if you want a real deal, try Tide Pods.
Stop paying for watered-down detergents. Pay for clean. If it's got to be clean, it's got to be Tide Pods. Water content based on the leading bargain liquid detergent.
Pirate radio stations. I guess once most of these AM stations go away, there'll be maybe something entertaining there with pirates, huh? Let's see. Let's go back up to 4.5 to 5 here. Was I a disc jockey in a previous life? No. Unfortunately not.
Not only confirms the fact that he was promised, but also the fact that he believed.
No, Tide Pods are not a suppository. Sorry to How and when did you get into EDM music? Well, I did work in a nightclub for 20-something years as a technician, and I sort of learned every single thing about that business, and everything in that building. I could fix anything from the freaking refrigeration of the beer cooler to the wiring to the plumbing to managing the liquor part of it and employees and cash registers. And that's just my nature to figure everything out around me. How did I learn this electronic stuff? I grew up around I grew up in a neighborhood around people that worked for, mainly at the time, Hughes Aircraft before it was bought out, and they were engineers for Hughes Aircraft. And the guy that taught me the TV stuff and most of this stuff, he worked for Magnavox Aerospace. They had a large facility, and he died young from exposure to. I'll get into that more. I'll get into that more. If I can find some pictures of that shop, I'd like to get more into that. But yeah, it was a luck of where I grew up, being surrounded by the right people who and just being naturally inclined to be interested in this stuff, mechanical stuff. Desert cabins, I don't know, those are just sort of user visited and maintained. Nobody lays claim to any desert cabin. Any thoughts on color sync issues on a Ford Philco hybrid set? Usually color sync issues are due to the color oscillator or the God, I'm blanking out on it right now. The part right in front of it with the two diodes. But yeah, I mean, you can adjust the oscillator coil. The crystals are going bad. They're suffering from silver migration. That you just got to play with that.
That priest 100 years ago, or even 400 years ago, or just 50 years ago, is that this time, the time is right.
The time is right.
The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go you out to meet him. And that is the truth. You're listening, my friends, to a prophet sent from God with one profound message to the entire world and to every nation. The kingdom of heaven is at hand. Jesus Christ is coming in your lifetime. This is the last generation. It's the last time. And little children, you know it's the last time because Antichrist must come, and even now is being manifested all over the world. Come, Lord Jesus. Come, Lord Jesus. And when you see these things begin to come to pass, look up, lift up your heads, for your redemption is drawing nigh. Keep your eyes on Jerusalem. Watch what's going on in the Middle East as kingdom against kingdom, brother against brother. All these are climactic events of Christ soon coming. Turn my contact telephone number for you to call anywhere throughout the world is U.S. code 1-843-701.
Send me money.
53. Our email address, brother.
Send me money.
SCAIR at Overcomer Ministry.
Wow, you guys got it. Damn.
Our mailing address for your letter support, your prayer request, your contentions, your questions, or your comments. You just address your letter to the Overcomer, Box 691, Walterboro, South Carolina, zip code 29488 USA. I can assure you that I do read and hold your letter in my hand.
You
and
do?
I respond accordingly to every letter that's written to me. The mailing address is the Overcomer, Post Office Box 691, Walterboro, South Carolina, zip code 29488. I promise you again that I do receive your mail and I do respond, every single one of them, and I do it personally, and that is the truth. Our website is www.overcomerministry.org. It's imperative that you make an effort to hear the prophet of God, the messenger of the covenant, to sign to this last generation in order to keep you
Overcomer.
Cambio y captura de
I3.
Which is the hotbed of colonialism.
Right, right. And he's fighting in the Congo, which was torn by war for 30 years. And
it's like when you draw arbitrary boundaries based on other people who invaded, people don't get along.
I've got a transoceanic in good use condition that belonged to my father. How do I make sure it gets to someone who will appreciate and refurb and use it? How about you?
From the era of Charlemagne.
How about you?
And was released.
I mean, you're watching this video. You must be sort of interested in this kind of thing. You know, make it yours. Keep the legacy alive, man.
And I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope it encourages you to go on your own deep dive and listen to some of Warren Zevon's stuff. Yeah, I mean.
Oh, so I don't see you work on Heathkit or Nightkit stuff. Oh, I got some Heathkit stuff I picked up.
Right. Yeah.
You want to talk about 60s deluxe.
It's a little part of my brain, you know, because my mom's a power.
Yeah.
But, yeah, what else you gonna do for me?
Yeah. There's just something about it when you're going through a group, and, you know, like everybody else, I would be...
For your automotive channel, if you get a car in the shop that needs timing and points gap adjustment, that would be cool. How to adjust video. I haven't seen a car with points in so long, and most of those cars are... You're going to get me going on an automotive rant now. That was like 70 years ago that cars had points. And most of those have been upgraded to those stupid things that people put in there. Learn how to timing light and dwell meter. Yeah, sadly, I'll confess that I actually know what all that stuff is, because dwell is just duty cycle. It's just, you know, but yeah, there are no cars. There are probably less than 1/100% of the cars on the road have points in them in this state. Points. Wow. Anyway. Is that a troll question? Make a video on adjusting points on a car. Is that a troll question?
Tell them what they get if they sign up as patrons.
The Appalachian book of the...
What you do is you put it so the little thing is on the tip of the rotor, so the points are open, and then you stick a business card in there and you adjust it to where it just barely, you use the business card as a feeler gauge. Okay, that's enough of that.
What's that short, Redfield? I'll have you know that about time period I'm average, you all are the ones who are oddly proportioned.
Points.
I think it's the hormones in the milk, actually. That's neither here nor there. What I mean is why some rust. Oh, I didn't mean to be rude. I'm just excited. That's rarely a good thing. Either that or we're about to save a ton on an exterminator. No, it's nothing cuisine related. The master and I are excited to be getting some high literature for once. I think I tried high literature in college, but it didn't help my reading retention. Philistine. No. Tonight we are featuring an adaptation of one of the greatest short story writers of the 19th century, Guy de Maupassant.
Points all her own, sitting way up firm and high. Oh, we got a Bob Seger fan in here. Yeah, there's a song no one ever listens to the lyrics and figures out what he's talking about. That's one of those grocery store classics. Well, all of Bob Seger's stuff was pretty blatant in his thoughts there. You just have to actually listen and use your imagination.
In this cave, by the restless sea, we are meant to call from out the past stories strange and weird. Bellkeeper, pull the bell, so all may know we are gathered again in the weird circle.
This is like creeptastic.
Again, the immortal tale, The Hand.
What's going on here? Come on, make up your mind. Do you want to be on or off?
It was raining. The date was August 31st, I remember. And I had just heard that Sir John Rowell and his daughter had leased a villa here at Wanley Park for the winter. I hadn't seen Sir John since I had been in London 4 years ago. Naturally, I was anxious to see my father's old friend. I walked across the sands in the pouring rain to the lonely house on the cliff which he had leased. I remember wondering at that time why any man would choose such an isolated and cheerless spot. But then my taste for his villa might have been dulled by the constant fall of the rain.
The Bible,
Children or land?
a preacher of righteousness. Now, nowhere does the scripture tell us he had a tabernacle or a tent or a...
My name's sake, for my sake, for the gospel's sake.
En 1954, y
Hasta las próximas.
vienen envueltas en la suave melancolía del desterrado, de quienes hemos...
You guys at home, the bird watchers and the last word.
What's really done a really good job of phasing out the old cars, which is only really acknowledged and recognized by like your very, very, very top tier techs, is the formulation of the gasoline. As fuel systems have changed from carburation to fuel injection and now to direct injection, the formulation of the gasoline has changed, and it includes much higher concentration of lighter hydrocarbons like propane, isobutane, and that. So what happens now with the older carbureted cars is, stand by 1 second, give me a second. Anyway, no, ethanol does not change the boiling point of gasoline. And of course, or it doesn't change it much. Today's gasoline is not really compatible with carburetors anymore. It boils right in the float bowl. It is not formulated to be exposed to anything over about 80 or 90 degrees in ambient temperature, in an unpressurized environment. Today's gasoline is really, and they constantly are changing it. Now they're changing it to have even more lighter hydrocarbons in it so that the direct injection engines don't produce as much soot. And the new cars that are coming out have, like the DPFs, they're having GPFs on the newer cars. They're putting particulate catalysts on the newer cars that are coming out right now are having, gasoline particulate filters on them like diesels, because the GDI produces a lot of soot. And so but ethanol, everybody, I'm looking at this, everybody's talking about, ethanol. Ethanol is, it leans out the fuel mixture. It's an oxygenate, so it leans out the fuel mixture and it attracts moisture, so it causes corrosion. But other than that, it really doesn't affect everything. It's the propane and butane. And this is one of those subtle, silent killers, like when they reduce the zinc in the oil. For a while, for several years, they reduced the zinc in the motor oil, and they didn't cut the amount of calcium down with it. So it just eliminated all those old flat tappet cam motors. I mean, you don't see those old 80s motorhomes anymore because it flattened the rear lobes out on all the cams. Anyway. Yeah, there are these silent killers when it comes to automotive stuff. And they're real subtle, and people don't get it. They think, oh, the gasoline's the same, the oil's the same. No, as the vehicles evolve, the chemicals that go in them change, the formulations change, and they're not compatible with the old stuff. And it's just sort of this like silent thing to phase out the old cars, and it's extremely effective. Anyway, how did we get on that? How do we get on that? CAFE standards. I don't know. I mean, I would just say with that stuff, don't be low IQ with that, because the politics, switch back and forth, and we seem to be in this sort of thing where the pendulum is swinging way one way and then way back the other way. So, this administration's relaxing all these standards, and then what happens, when it swings back the other way, and they really crimp down, and gasoline's $10 a gallon, and they ban all gas cars. I don't be a low IQ with that. Anyway, yes, Royal 1000. Just make the Toyota 22 RE again. Yeah, I've seen those flattening cams too. There's not many of those left. Electronics. I purchased the L&Co electronics kit that you mentioned, built. I have not built the L&Co AM/FM radio kit yet. I need to do that. Stand by 1 second. Okay, sorry about that. I'm babysitting tonight. And anyway, L&Co AM/FM radio kit. Yeah, highly recommend. Highly recommend. It's complicated, but it will teach you a lot about radio. It's not cheap either, but it's worth it. Lexus. I'm a fan of Lexus. Definitely like Lexus. They've had their moments, though. Some of them have not been that great. Are you going to get another kitty cat? I addressed that earlier. I'm trying to cut back on the exposure to toxoplasmosis. I really don't want to go down that way at the end. Also, they're expensive now, man. Pets are expensive. Private equity has got control of them, and the price of the food and everything else is like, no, if one comes along, I might, but yeah, I'm trying to cut back on the toxo. Do I still have the pencil tube radio kit? Yeah, absolutely.
Flying faith promises is pick them up and let us fear lest we wait one day too long picking them up. I've been teaching for 30 to 40 weeks on giving, and some of you have transformed your giving.
De gran calidad. En 1846, a la edad de 30 años, Carl Zeiss fundó su propio taller de mecánica de precisión en la ciudad de Jena. Al principio, su taller se centraba en la reparación de instrumentos científicos, como telescopios y microscopios. Sin embargo,
indoor cats don't have toxoplasmosis. All they have to do is get a hold of a rodent that has it, and that's it, man.
Uno de los primeros logros de Zeiss fue el desarrollo de microscopios simples. Durante esa época, los microscopios eran herramientas cruciales en la investigación científica.
Fantastico. Okay, let's see. Yeah, pet food. Now we're talking about pet food as an investment. Yeah, we saw that with the last manufactured crisis, didn't we? Toxoplasmosis. Yeah, read about it. It's I'm sort of dealing with somebody right now who has it really bad. It's yeah, read about it. It's a parasitic thing and it gets in your brain and it's really, really nasty.
Fue así como fundó Carl Zeiss Gina, una empresa dedicada a la producción de instrumentos ópticos basados en los principios científicos de...
You thought what was sarcasm, toxoplasmosis? It's absolutely not, man. You think it's so? Hold on. Okay, we're talking toxoplasmosis now. Let's do this. It's a conspiracy theory, right? Toxoplasmosis is it's a parasite that gets in your brain. And here, I'm going to show you something here. Okay, so this is of course, no one ever reads the labels, right? This is cat litter. This is a thing of cat litter right here. Right there. Always wash your hands thoroughly after handling used cat litter. We want to remind pregnant nursing women and those with suppressed immune systems that a parasite sometimes found in cat feces can cause toxoplasmosis. Yeah, sometimes. Not a conspiracy theory. A nasty parasite that's like really hard to get rid of. Anyway. Is ivermectin, does that get rid of it? I think it's really hard to get rid of. Maybe Linzest gets rid of it. That's a good point. Yeah, any of those pharmaceuticals that result in death, they definitely get rid of it.
Methuselah might have given them to mow up.
Anyway.
Then they couldn't move her out, and since she's pregnant, then it's fine, you know, they're going to have to get married, so they go to bed.
At number 5, the connected which reached number 5 in Australia, number 6 in the Netherlands, number 7 in Canada and on the British dance chart, number 8.
Yeah, okay. I don't know if ivermectin gets rid of toxoplasmosis. I would rather not acquire it because you don't really know you have it until you get old and then your immune system starts to take a dump and then it's like, oh, okay, why am I thinking like this? Yeah, Ozempic. God, these GLP-1 drugs. Why?
and that writing is paleo cuneiform writing, and that the first writing dates from about 3500 BC. And we find the first civilizations on Earth.
As I mentioned earlier in this here service, videos coming up are, let me see, I'm blanking out now. Zenith Color Console Television from 1974. And I got, let's see, a plumbing repair video and a FM multiplex decoder. That was a fun one. Yeah, Scott Adams got the turbo set up. A lot of people I know got that turbo set up.
That immediately confronts us here is the identity of these sons of God. All efforts to identify these with angels or other supernatural creatures should be rejected. Kaufman's commentary lists 7 scriptural reasons why.
To make your reservations for this Sunday service, call 1-800-338-3030. That's 1-800-338-3030.
Any Mind videos coming up? I don't know. I got to sit down and edit them. Editing takes a long time.
Temas, controlar la estabilidad en vuelo y confirmar que todo funciona tal como fue diseñado. Aunque en este vuelo no rompió la barrera del sonido, sí marcó el inicio de una nueva fase. La fase en la que empezarán a aumentar velocidad y altitud hasta llegar al objetivo final, volar a Mach.
I think 6.7 is out right now. 6.7 is out. It's been replaced by Good. Good. I asked about CL90s a while back, and you said something about remind you about making a video. CL90 is an inrush current limiter. It's a thermistor. It's 120 ohms cold, and it drops to about 2 or 3 ohms when it's hot. And you put those in series with your tube radio or whatever, and basically it takes the hard hit off the circuitry. So it sort of like ramps up the voltage slow. There's a bigger one that I use. I'm sure I've covered it in videos. It's a heavier one, so it warms up slower. But it all depends on what it is. What are you looking for a CL90 for? Let me see who said that. Star Quest Man. What's your fetish for a CL90? What are you trying to do?
Se programa su membrana para que responda únicamente a ciertas señales. Puede ser una molestia.
Talc mines. I'm trying to avoid the talc mines. I stated in a few weeks ago in a video, I'm really trying to break my asbestos addiction. I'm trying to cut down on the asbestos intake. It's my New Year's resolution to stop huffing asbestos, so I'm staying away from talc mines. Yeah, I got enough of that crap in the frickin' ceiling here that I need to. All right, 6.925. 6.925. That would be... What is on 6.925? I mean, in that area, I'm just getting some sideband and some Spanish.
Yeah, he spoke. But there was a lot of people.
I like it when you bring things back you find on the street and get them working. Yeah, if I find something on the street, I'll grab it. But of course, as time goes by, there's less and less of that stuff. I have worked on Class D amplifiers. I worked on one, a car stereo one, just to understand how it worked. And yeah, their Class D is pretty interesting, how it uses a 100 kilohertz oscillator and a bunch of op amps, and then to switch the output FETs, and then a bunch of filtering chokes and capacitors on the output. Yeah, Class D is... Stand by 1 second. Okay, I'm not getting anything on 6925, sorry. That would be right here. I love asbestos. I've about had my fill of these mosquitoes out here. They're, hold on one second. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna skip a bunch of these things. I'm like, no, I don't. Now we're talking about popcorn ceilings. I just paint those damn things very carefully. Paint your popcorn ceiling. They're just loaded with asbestos. Gamble Skogmo. I stay away from brake jobs. Like I said, I'm trying to cut my asbestos addiction out. I'm working on it.
Poeta, narrador, dramaturgo. Nació en Guantánamo, Cuba, en 1900.
Okay.
I know. Many of you say you do, so that's what we try to do here.
What? Desgarrado, como Antonio.
Wow, 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 wow. All right. I think I am going to go inside and let these mosquitoes find something else to eat. Because even though I'm like pretty much covered head to toe, they're still finding access to they're eating my eyelids at this point. Don't be scared of vintage electronics. Be responsible. Don't be scared. You could go back and watch the video at 2x. If you watch my videos at 2x speed, it's usually about normal talking speed. But yeah, you're talking real slow when you're doing this, and you're reading the comments. You really need someone behind you reading the comments to you. So yeah, I'm going to be focusing on TVs a little bit more for a while. Damn, these things are wicked.
make your reservations for this Sunday service, call 1-800-338-3030. That's 1-800-338-3030. The address for Pastor Scott's website is PastorMelissaScott.com. Again, PastorMelissaScott.com.
While I'm debunking the